Good evening, everyone. Listen, I wanted to come before you tonight just with a little something uh, for the month of February. I know in the month of January, we basically discussed awareness. And now moving into February, it is imperative that we understand the necessity for action because it doesn't matter if you are aware of what the problem is if there is no action. Knowing what's wrong without changing anything is still stuck. And most of us are in a place of stagnation. And honestly, it's almost like we're comfortable where we are. Yet we're crying, yet we're complaining about the necessity for change. So that is something we got to look at and check ourselves because we cannot continue year after year after year uh, just hoping that things change, hoping that this gets better. I'm praying for this. I'm praying for that. News flash, you could pray till the cows come home. Until you start putting some action with your prayers, ain't nothing going to happen. I'm praying for these people to change, and I'm hoping that this changes. No. The first step, hear me, the first step to recovery is to recognize and admit that a problem exists. So if you're dealing with someone, even yourself, and you have not even recognized that a problem exists, that's why you want to argue with everybody. That's why you're trying to fight with everybody that ain't rolling how you roll because you are still in denial. You are still refusing to see what is in your face. Doesn't matter who they are, family, friends, church folk. It don't matter about your feelings and emotions. None of that matters. God reveals what needs to be changed. I said, God reveals what needs to be changed. So technically, I'm I'm waiting to hear God, and I'm waiting for man. For the most part, God has already told many of us what to do. But our feelings and our emotions always seemingly override God's direction. Because that's my mama, or that's my wife, or that's my brother, or that's this person. Doesn't matter what the title is. At some point, you're going to have to do what God says to do. Because just in case you didn't know, hear me when I tell you this. And if you've been following me, and I pray that you have, and I pray that you're paying attention to the reels and the morning post and all of that stuff to keep you in a specific momentum throughout the year, because I'm going hard the whole year. And I want you to understand that stuff is a decision. Well, I just feel stuck right now. That's because you have not decided what. Well, I'm just so tired and I'm so overwhelmed. Okay, make a decision. Stop crying and complaining about what's going on in your life when you open the door for this madness. You have the windows of your house wide open for whatever is on the outside to come in. Then, whenever it comes in, and most of us have dealt with what's on the outside of the house enough to know exactly what it's going to bring on the inside. But because our feelings and emotions tend to always override our intellect, we believe that we can make God make what we're comfortable with his plan. And then you're fearing what the people are going to say, how they're going to feel. Listen, this is 2026. It's time for you to live for you. It's time for you to make moves for you. You've been running, you taking care of everybody else, you taking care of this, taking care of that, you taking care of these people, those people, and you've depleted all of your energy and everything that you have inside of you. You've almost depleted all of that running for everybody else. So now when it comes to you, you have no energy left. All you could do is sleep. And then you got, how you got the few people that you call and cry with and complain with. Stop that. What you crying for? This is your decision. What are you upset for? These are your decisions. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm talking to all the big boys and the big girls, those who really want to make a difference in 2026, those who don't want to go into 2027 like you came into 2026 with all that mess in 2025. So what I saw coming into the year, even with myself, we've been stuck in a place of fear. And I broke down a lot of stuff about fear and understanding that fear is not as negative as we think it is. Because most of the time we get afraid when we're going into foreign land, when we're going into unfamiliar territory, when we're dealing with people that we should not be dealing with, we think. So fear sets in. Okay, now that's not the norm. Okay, now it don't normally happen like this. Now this ain't how it's supposed to be. So instead of allowing God to move you in a new place, you fear. Come on, y'all. You fear it and you become complacent in your stuck place while you still crying. And God is like, no, here's an out. So technically what I've learned is that people are not outright disobeying God. What they're doing is because they feel the danger of losing their comfortable surroundings and what makes them feel good and what makes everybody love you and what makes everybody cling to you and you're this and you're that, because I love this comfort, although God is calling me out. So I prefer to stay comfortable than to be obedient to God's direction. So it's not so much that people are straight up disobeying God, they just choose comfort over Him. And their life is in shambles because you're operating out of your feelings and emotions, and you don't realize God is trying to grow you. He's trying to take you to new heights and new places, but you so stuck where you at that you can't even see that you need to move. So what I'm going to do for all, if you're not following, follow. If you're not uh, subscribed, subscribe to the channels, all of on YouTube. Go to Come On Now with Darius P. Go to Real Talk Pastor in TikTok. Go to DL Pemberton in Facebook. Go to Real Talk Pastor in Instagram. All these different places. Listen to these reels. Listen to the information that you're getting. This is very necessary as we're moving into 2026, because I've said it several times, playtime is over. So we cannot continue doing what we want to do. In other words, I said in one of the reels, stop editing the instructions that God is giving you. Oh, no, God. Even when it comes to relationships and places and things, we have a desire to customize what we want from God. No, God. He got to work here. He got to have this. His hair need to be this long. She need to do this. We got all of these. What if God doesn't want you to have what you think you need? What if what you think you need ain't what you need and it's just what you want? Stop editing the instructions. Stop trying to customize what you want from God. I'm just saying, going into 2026, progress cannot depend on you. You know how much I don't want to continue certain things? Because I'm like, okay, this should be showing this particular yield. The outcome should be this right there. But if God is telling me, keep moving. No. I got this. Don't worry about what you see happening with everybody else. Don't worry about this. Everybody else don't have a relationship with me. Yeah. They might got the money, and this might look like they looking good and doing all of that, but it doesn't matter. What you want? Would you prefer to trade all of their money and trade in your relationship with God? Just so, no. God, let me keep my relationship. This is where we need to be in 2026, because consistency, I said that I think yesterday or day before yesterday, consistency speaks volumes. Consistency tells people who you are. See, people can do stuff. And that's what most people do. They do it for 6 months. This don't work. Let me try this. They do this for 6 months. This don't work. Let me try that. They try people. Let me try her. Let me do her for 6 months. That don't work. Let me deal with him for 6 months. That don't work. And we just keep moving to the next one. And we don't even give ourselves time to hear God so that we could move and do what we need to do. So, in a nutshell, without trying to preach a full message, in a nutshell, for tonight, I want you to understand that we need clarity, that we should have gotten with the awareness. We need clarity, and we need action to come along, follow behind that clarity. You gotta have some action. That's one of the reasons, even why the young people flow like they flow with church and church folk and elderly people, period, because we do a lot of talking, but very little action. And we tell them, listen, you better not lie. You better always tell the truth. Well, when your cousin comes in the room and says, hey, do I look big? And the child says, yes, as a house. Now you scold the child. Don't you hurt nobody's feelings like that. Okay, but you just said be honest. You just said don't lie. So what do I do? Do I lie? And that's the thing. Church, society, families, personal convictions, all these things have been telling us how we should flow or should not flow. Time out for that. Go into the Word of God. See what God says, how you should flow. Well, I'm going to tell you, they're going to listen to me and they're going to do what I say. No. The Word says a soft answer turns away wrath. No, I'm not telling you to just let people use and abuse you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to, the Bible says you have to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. So you gotta wake up. We need action with the awareness and clarity that we have gotten. And we need to begin to apply what we're hearing to our lives. Then and only then will we begin to see a difference. Then and only then will we begin to see a change in our surroundings, in our life. Y'all ain't ready for change? So if you are, in the month of February, I want you to share this message. I want you to get it out there. In the month of February, join with me as we dive deeper into action, into obedience, into what needs to be in order for our lives to change for the better. We got awareness. Now in February, let's deal with the action. Y'all know what I'm saying. Marinate on all of that. You got this. Come on now.